So when we're talking about, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to relationships, things of that nature, right? When we're talking about these different issues, a lot of people like to say, well, we're not going to get in relationships, we're not going to get in marriages with people that are not healed, with people that are broken, and people that what other things? People that have trauma, people that are on their healing journeys, right? A lot of that rhetoric sounds great. A lot of that rhetoric sounds wise, and it's smart. You know what I mean? That's kind of the way we view these type of sayings and these talking points. Now, what I'm gonna say is, let's get up a little pushback on these statements, because if we're saying that we're not getting with people because they're not healed, and we're not getting with people because they're not with they've been hurt too bad and all these different things, and I'm talking to myself too. If we're saying that we're not going to get with these type of people, well, then that kind of implies that we have everything together. You know what I mean? Because if you're not going to allow somebody who is broken, somebody who is not healed from past traumas or from wounds that you might not have even caused, if you're going to sit here and say that you're not going to get with this person because of that, well, then that means that you don't have your own issues. And I mean, maybe, well, no, that kind of implies that you don't really have any issues. That means that you don't really feel the need or have a place to help them. You see what I'm saying? That means you're not able to help. That means you're not able to give them an outlet and give them a comfortable space to express how they've been hurt, express how they've been, beat down, wounded, traumatized. You're not willing to give them that space because you think you're worth more than that, or something like that. You know what I mean? You think you don't deserve that. You're trying to avoid being hurt by hurt people. And yes, it is true. Hurt people hurt people. You know what I mean? Hurt people are going to hurt people. But again, like, our definitions of hurt, it's not to say that you're not supposed to have standards. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have standards. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have boundaries. And I think someone who might be hurt should understand that. If they're truly on a healing journey, if they're truly on a journey in a path of overcoming their like traumas and overcoming their wounds and trying their best to give themselves that time to bind themselves up. At least maybe, if we're talking Jesus Christ, we're allowing Jesus to bind us up. It could be a process. You know what I mean? It's not like an overnight thing. Not just you pray and then all of a sudden, boom. It can happen like that, but at the same time, be real. You know what I mean? Be real, because sometimes wounds, even physical wounds, take time. Yes, when Jesus Christ was on the scene, he healed and he did miracles and all these different things, but he was here on the scene healing physical wounds. You know what I mean? Physical. So the physical wounds, the diseases, the ailments that people had, yes, Jesus Christ was there healing them. You know what I mean? He had that power from on high. He had faith way beyond the grain of mustard seed. Who says we can have that faith today? You know what I mean? We can strive for that for sure, and we should. But that's not the point, though. The point is like Christ. Even if we get to the example of Christ, Jesus Christ, he is the one that is fully healed, and he's the one that we look to for healing. He's our therapist, ultimately. You know what I mean? Because what does he do? He allows us to look inside ourselves. It's us. It's me and you. Me and you, right? Me and you have to find it within ourselves to change. We have to do the work ourselves. We have to make it up in our own minds. I'm going to change. I'm going to change. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm not going to live my life this way. I'm going to make a difference in my life. I don't like the way I've been eating. I don't like the way I've been living. I don't like the way I've been drinking. I don't like the way I've been treating this person. I'm going to do whatever I can so that I can overcome my demons. I can overcome my flesh. I can overcome my bad habits. You know what I mean? It takes an internal building up. It takes an internal look inside yourself. That's what Jesus Christ causes us to do, because we have to take accountability and humble ourselves. Because a lot of times we don't like to look at ourselves in the mirror and be like, oh man, yeah, we just with bad people. You know what I mean? We don't like to look at ourselves as bad people because everybody's saying, oh, we're kings and we're queens and we did this and we should love we need to know our self-worth and all these general statements, you know, know our self-worth and focus on ourselves and all this other stuff. These general statements. Well, how are you doing that? How do you love yourself? You know what I mean? Like, again, these general phrases that, yes, that sound good on the surface, but are they helping us heal? Are they helping us, you know, get to a point where we can be suitable for marriage? We can be suitable for relationships. We can be suitable for the opposite sex. Because the reality is, you're going to get hurt. You know what I mean? In some way, shape, or form. It's not to say that somebody's going to hurt you deliberately and willingly because they don't like you. You shouldn't be in that person's not fit to be in a relationship or marriage. That, you know, and that person shouldn't take that. You know what I mean? Like, you should flee from that. You know what I mean? You should flee from, before you start making a commitment to that person, you need to know and understand, have serious conversations, right? You need to have serious conversations and say, hey, look, what's your mind at with this? What's your background, or what have you done here, there? Like, what you know, I think that's why it's wise in today's day, even though this was not necessarily a common practice in ancient times. You know, this courting thing, this dating thing, this people may challenge me on this, but this is not necessarily biblical. And I think it's good to do, because in today's day, we just don't know who we're getting with, you know. But duty is what we should be striving for. Duty to our God, duty to ourselves, right? To keep a marriage together is what binds us, right? It's not looking for another person that is completely healed from traumas and all these different things. And yes, sometimes you may have your preferences, absolutely, and you're entitled to do that, right? But we as people need to exercise a lot of patience with others. You know what I mean? We have to, both of us, all of us, whether we get in a marriage, whether we're single, we all have stuff that we need to work on. We all do. We all have stuff that we need to work on ourselves. And if we're not willing to work on these things ourselves, right, and be patient with other people as we're continuing and standing on duty, right, and doing what we're supposed to do, rather than doing what we want to do and just, you know, the relationship falling anyway, right? We need to be seeking the self-help. We need to be getting, you know, the therapy we need, but we need to be seeking Jesus and if we're Bible believers, which I am. So I'm not necessarily going to put this on everybody, but, you know, we need to be laying the foundation on truth. We need to be laying the foundation for believers, Jesus Christ. He's the only one that was perfect. He's the only one that can get us to where we need to be. But it requires obedience to him, right? We both need to be obedient to him and follow in his roles for us in marriage. You know, we need to follow his roles. We need to do what he said to do, right? But the thing is, you're not going to get a completed person. Not a man, not a woman out here is completed. Only in Jesus Christ we are. But on the surface, we need to understand that we have things that we are working on. So when we do what the Bible says to do in marriage, when we follow the apostles' commands, when we follow Jesus Christ's commands, we can overcome. But despite the issues that we may have in marriages, despite the certain traumas and triggers that might show up in a marriage, we can overcome them if we just stick to what Christ said. Because Christ is the one that knows and understands all of our struggles. And when we take them to him, we make sure that, we're good. We're good. We don't have a reason to leave. And if you're not religious, if you don't believe in God, or don't believe in Jesus, well, you have to understand that the principles of marriage are inseparable. It's just wrong. It's just like wrong to just throw somebody away because you weren't patient enough with them. You didn't seek to try to be there for them or commit to them either way, because despite that, you know, but stuck to the duties and roles in which men and women ought to operate in marriage and relationships. You know what I mean? It's the duty. It's not a feeling that we have when, oh man, all of a sudden I can't give this to you. I can't do this and I can't do that. You know, I can't be patient. Like, bro, I mean, like the thing is, we make so much excuses and we just end up sabotaging our own relationships. We sabotage them, and we got to look back and say, hey, look, I fucked up. You know, I messed up. You know, it is what it is. But come on, we got to stick to duty. We have to, right? Because we're not going to find a perfect person out there. So what's saying that, oh, if you're not healed, and if you still got you on your healing journey, or I'm not, you know what I mean? So who says you're healed? Who says you are the one that's perfectly fine? Are you perfectly fine? Right? Because who says somebody ain't got to put up with your bull crap? You know? Who says somebody ain't got to put up with you? You know what I mean? Oh, since you have it all together, right? Since you have it all together, why are you looking for? Why hasn't the man of your dreams, or why has not the woman of your dreams, or the person that was completely put together and all this other stuff? Why have they not come to you yet? Why have you not sought them yet? Why have you went all around the world, all around your city, all around your town, and ain't found one woman or one man that fit every single category, that fit every single thing that you wanted to see, that fit now I'm talking about physically and internally? Why have you not found that yet? You see? Because it's not about all that. It's not about where somebody is. It's about what are you going to believe, and especially us believers, are we going to believe the Bible? Are we going to believe God and just do what he says? You know, are we going to apply the principles of love thy neighbor as thyself, love our wives as our own bodies, wives love your husbands, you know what I mean? Wives loving your husbands as well. Like, yo, are we going to follow the biblical gender roles that God put in place, as man is the head, ruler, leader, and authority, the woman the in subjection, the woman like submissive and obedient in all things, everything, you know what I mean? Are we going to do these things? Are we just going to make up things along the way, blame everybody else because they're not healed, they're not this, and we're going to still end up single, and just, you know, we're never going to get what we truly want. That's just not going to happen. You're never going to get with every single thing. You're going to have to put up with a lot of other things. Now, again, not saying that you shouldn't have boundaries, not saying that you shouldn't have standards, not saying that certain people need to get over certain things. I'm not saying that other people are just using healing and all this other stuff to kind of like manipulate you and use it as an excuse to stay the way they are. No, I'm not saying people need to stay in a hurt, broken space. We need to grow. Where's the patience? We're 2,000 years removed from Jesus Christ's appearance on earth. So what do? You know, blessed are those who have not seen but believe. I'm out, y'all. Peace.